everyone, welcome to Beyond Decadent Planning with Erin. Today we are going to be stuffing my envelopes for the week of November 8th. For those of you who are just joining us, I use a cash-based budgeting system where all of my discretionary spending goes into envelopes in my binders. Every single dollar has a purpose, so for example, if I have an emergency, I would pull from my emergency envelope for whatever that is and only use kind of that money. Obviously, emergency is probably a horrible example, but if I was going clothes shopping, I would pull from my clothing envelope and just use whatever money is in there. So every 2 weeks, my Canadian family and I we budget for all of the money that we have. All of our bill money actually stays in our account. So this money is just things that I have control over and things that I'm saving up for to make sure that I actually have the cash in hand before I go and make that purchase. If you want to see how I actually came up with these numbers, feel free to go check out my previous video that will kind of explain a little bit more about my different categories and what I use them for, as well as why I put specific amounts in each one. I have withdrawn all of the cash from my bank, which is $775 this week, a little bit less than I normally do, just because the way my pay works this week. There's a whole bunch of very large bills that fall into this, so we're going to be budgeting a lot less. I have a family of 4, so 2 growing boys and then my husband and we live on this discretionary amount for the next 2 weeks until our next payday. So let's get to it. This first binder I'm going to do, and I talked about this in my last video, but I really dislike how my categories are organized. So I'm going to, I did print off quite a bit of these, so I am going to try and use them. I think I did a month's worth. So then I'll rearrange it and actually have the categories based on which binders I'm using. But this binder right here, the purple one, is typically what I'm spending in the next 2 weeks. So things like groceries, entertainment, household, that kind of stuff fall into this binder. So even though there's not a lot up here, some of the amounts are down here that I'm going to be doing. I do actually... I can probably identify it by this. So all of this money I don't actually keep track of on a regular basis, just because I typically spend all of the money that's in this binder in the next 2 weeks, so I don't need to keep track of a balance. This sheet right here is one that I made on Excel. And it just allows me to keep it in my planner so I know what my balance is for each of my accounts. And whereas the other ones, these ones are kind of kept in a safe, and this one's so I just, rather than having to pull it from the safe every 2 weeks, or I just pull it as I need it, and I have an idea of what is in my balance. Okay, so the first one we are going to be doing is entertainment. So I have $10 identified for entertainment. And then Erin's spending, I believe it's $10 in there as well. This is one of my new envelopes that I added in this week. And this is just my husband and I were finding that, like, if we wanted to run and get a candy bar or a coffee, we wanted a little bit of spending money in our wallet. So that will probably leave my wallet and go in my or in this binder and go into my wallet, just to have cash on hand. The next one I'm doing is gas. So I typically, with gas, one of us gets $75, one of us gets $50. And so that needs to last us the full 2 weeks. Groceries, we are doing $410. So again, this is something that has to last us 2 weeks. So both weeks we only get 205. So I like to make sure that I have my denominations split up so that I can easily pull the 205. We will spend that entire amount. Oh no, my envelope is not liking me. I am going to be switching out these envelopes. I find that these things break quite easily. And I don't really keep a lot of change in here, so I will be switching them out for different ones. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. For household, we are going to be putting $10 in. So this is for things that my whole family is using, like laundry detergent, or hand soap, or stuff like that. So we just recently made a bunch of purchases, so we don't need a whole lot of money in here. That's just more kind of just in case. This is my husband's envelope. I think I just closed it. So he is getting $10 as well. And then finally, dine out is $50. So like I said, this binder is pretty much almost identical each week, especially like the restaurant, unless we're planning on going somewhere special. So I don't really need to think a lot about those ones. The next binder that I'm opening up, so these are kind of things that I'm typically going to pull from monthly. And so they're a little bit longer term. I don't need to have them on a regular basis when I go shopping or I'm planning to use money out of each of the different envelopes. I'll just pull it out of this, the envelope out of the binder and put it in my purple binder so I can take it with me when I go. So we are not spending anything on beauty or clothing or content or Costco. I think the next one on here is medical. So $50. So I just actually had a big purchase in my medical, and of course I forgot to write it here, even though I am only I am in Canada, so thankfully I don't have a whole lot of expenses. I do have to pay for prescriptions, as well as like first aid, like Band-Aids, aspirin, that kind of thing. And so I do like to keep track, regularly put amounts in here for that kind of thing. And so this is more the longer term. We typically only need prescriptions refilled monthly, so we will just leave that there. So I'm going to update my medical. There's only $50 in there. School is next. We're going to be putting $5 in there, and there's currently 40. So 20. So now there is going to be 45. My school envelope is, both my kids are in school, but there always seems to be like field trips or something like that. So I do like to have an amount in here just in case there's something happening. Hot lunch. So we have, our schools do hot lunch once a week. Even though this one says kids, it's actually sports. So we're going to be putting $10 in here. I just made a very large cash call for one of my kids' sports teams. So that's why this one is empty. So we are building back up. And then subscriptions. So I actually forgot a balance in here. So this folder or envelope was in my purple one, but I realized I only use this monthly, so I don't need to carry this one around all the time. So we moved it to my bigger, my more monthly binder. But this is, I do pay all of our subscriptions monthly on my credit card. And so what this is just saving up to make sure that I'm putting it on my credit card before it actually comes out, and making sure that I don't have to pay interest on my credit card for those amounts. I'm really prepaying it. But I have decided I am going to be starting to save for yearly subscriptions. So now I need to put larger amounts in there so that I can start to save long term. Okay, and then our last binder. So this is my longer term things I'm typically buying way less frequently, like once a year. So I have categories in here like Christmas and all of that kind of stuff. So I did put in a whole bunch of new categories. So the first one on here is car. We are not putting anything in my car. We're not putting anything in Christmas or Easter, but we are putting in emergency. So we're gonna put $5 in emergency. So there is 15, and so now that will be 20. Next is gonna, sports. I forgot to put the balance in sports. And so the last one we're putting in here is vacation, which is way back here. So there's $120 in there, and we are going to be putting 10. So 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30. Okay, and now as I'm doing this, I'm realizing I forgot to put my balance in for all of my items. So we'll just use this one. So anniversary has 0, birthday is 0. These are just ones I just started, so haven't. Lied. That's a different book. 0, Canada Day. Car is 40. Christmas is 135. Easter is 0. Emergency we did. Furniture is 0. Half cow, half pig. I don't know about you guys, but meat is so expensive. So my husband and I have actually decided we're going to save up and get a large freezer and also a half cow and half pig, just to have in our freezer, and then we can just work towards that. Vacation is done. Okay, so beauty is $10. Clothing is 0. Content's another new one. Costco is 45. Gifts is 16. Medical we did. School we did. Sports we did, and subscriptions. So I'm going to add all that up now just to see how much I have saved. So we've got 10, 40, 135, 5, 20, 16, 10, 70, 130. That seems off. Oh, you know what? I didn't add these in. Let's have 10. This is 125. All right, I'm gonna have to start over again. So 10, 40, 135. Okay. 9, 6. There we go. So now, so that's pretty good. Now, again, most of this I am going to be spending, so that number will not be consistent over time, but it's still good to kind of know how much I have in my binders. So I think that's it. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. If you like this video, please hit that like button. As always, comments are welcome. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.